Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Angela Jackson. Today I have a model helping me to demo. This is Valerie. So if you're ever not sure exactly what pose we're doing or alignment, you can watch her. I'm going to be walking around a little bit more, adjusting. So this is yoga for athletes. So we're going to get started standing on our mats. Valerie, if you want, you can face that way. So we're going to come to Tadasana pose. So feet are directly underneath the sit bones, toes forward. Lift and spread the toes. Make sure you can feel all four corners grounding down. From this grounding action, we're going to rise up in the legs with the head of the femurs, the hips, over the ankles. So watch that you're not pressing those bones forward, compromising the low back. You want to draw them back. And then just a gentle tuck under of the tailbone to feel the low belly engage. And from that engagement, we're going to lift up nice and tall into the chest. Roll your shoulders into your back, face the palms forward. Maintain this opening through the front body. Bring both hands together into prayer position and let your thumbs touch your heart center. Good. From here, close your eyes. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Draw your chin in towards you. Take nice deep breaths into the lungs. Feeling the lungs expanding in all directions with the inhale. And make the exhales nice and slow, removing any stale air that has collected in the base of the lungs. Good. Feeling nice and long in the side body, but relax through the shoulders and the neck. Keeping your face nice and soft, the throat relaxed. And now hear the sound of your breath as you breathe. Let your mind be consumed by this sound. So letting go of anything that occurred during the day, not letting the mind think forward to the evening, just being present here with the breath and in your body. Okay, always listening to the body, all the messages the body sends you as you practice. This is how we really bring change into our body. It's how we really let go of tension and lengthen our muscles, is when we hear our body say, yes, this is good, and I want more, and we can go deeper into a stretch. Or maybe we're going too far and we need to pull back a little bit. So keep this nice deep breath flowing all the way throughout your practice and use it as an indicator for your practice. Take 3 more nice deep breaths. Good. One more nice big inhale. Exhale, open your eyes. And then we're going to start to flow. So let's inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Just follow your gaze. Look towards your fingertips, palms together. And exhale your hands down to your heart center. Good. Inhale and sweep them up. And exhale down. One more time like this. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, both hands down. On the next one, let's inhale, reach both arms up. And as you exhale, start to fold forward over top the legs. So here in your forward fold, if the hamstrings are tight, bend your knees. Bring your fingertips to your shins and inhale, come up to a flat back. Really reaching that chest forward, sit bones reaching back behind you, and then exhale and fold into your legs. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms, come all the way up to stand. Bring your palms together and exhale them down to your heart center, coming back to that nice alignment. Good. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, fold forward, all the way down. Inhale to a flat back, fingertips onto the shins, reach your chest forward. Good. Exhale, fold into your legs. Inhale, sweep the arms, come all the way up. Bring your palms together and exhale your hands back down. Good. Let's do one more like this. Inhale, reach the arms up. Good. Exhale and fold all the way forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. This time, reach for opposite elbow. Stay in the forward fold. Let your arms and your head be really heavy. Lengthen the spine. Deep breaths. And if it feels good here, you can kind of sway a little bit from side to side. So bend your knees a little bit more. Yeah, and let the spine roll forward. Good, relax through here. Good, all the way down. Excellent. Now release your elbows. Bring your hands down to your mat. Step back to plank pose, like a high push-up position. With the shoulders right above the wrists, so spread your fingers. Tailbones lengthening down towards your heels and really lift up through the upper back. So feel really strong through your shoulders. You're gazing just towards the top of your mat, beyond your fingertips. Deep breaths here. And all your attention's on your breath. Good. Come on in. Good. Take one more inhale. Now exhale, bring your knees to your mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Come to table pose. I tricked you. Good. We're going to loosen up the spine a little bit in our table pose. So a little bend in the elbows so that you're not locking the joint, you're protecting it. And we're going to flow with the breath. So come to a neutral spine first, lifting up through the low ribs and lifting up in the shoulders. And then as you inhale, allow the shoulders to sink, the belly to fall, and lift your head and your tailbone up. This is cow pose. Then as you exhale, press into your hands, round your spine, come all the way up and spread the shoulder blades, getting a nice stretch right between them. Good. Inhale, hear the sound of your breath. Allow it to release tension along the spine. Feel like you're reaching the chest through your shoulders. And then exhale and round all the way up nice and tall. Good. Let's do this 2 more times. Releasing tension. Inhale. Good. Exhale, round. Good. Inhale, drop the belly. Take the head of the arms into the back. Good. Exhale, round up. Come back to a neutral spine. Curl your toes under. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Let's come to downward facing dog. So hips lift up. Send them back. Good. So feel free to bend the knees as much as you need to. If the hamstrings are tight, you're going to take your feet wider to about outer hip distance. Toes are facing forward. Good. Make sure the palms are nice and grounded. So bring your hands a little bit further forward. Good. Relax through your neck and draw the hips back. Good stuff. We always want to keep a nice long line in the upper body from the wrist to the shoulders to the hips to protect the wrist, to protect this chain. And then pedal the feet out. So draw one heel down at a time. Enjoy a stretch on one side. And then move to the other side when you're ready. So in the beginning of our practice, I talked about listening to your body. So as you move through this stretch, don't simply just go through the motions. Really feel that opening on one side before you move to the other side. So Eric, take your feet a little bit wider from each other. Good. Excellent. And now draw both heels down towards the ground at the same time, lifting the sit bones higher. If you need to bend the knees, that's still okay. And look up towards your hands. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Then inhale, rise up to a flat back. Reach your chest forward. Exhale, fold into your body. Inhale, sweep the arms, come all the way up to stand. Bring your palms together. Exhale your hands down. Inhale, reach them up. Exhale and fold forward. So maybe straightening the knees a little bit more. Inhale up to a flat back. Exhale, plant your hands down, step back to plank pose. Good. This time in your plank pose, hold for just one inhale. And then exhale and slowly lower the body to the mat. All at the same time, elbows and shoulders coming back into the body, and flatten the tops of your feet. Inhale, rise up to your cobra, nice long spine. So Valerie's come up nice and high because she has a nice curve in her spine. You might come a little bit lower, but really think of the shoulders coming into the back and softening. Good. Good, come down a little bit lower, a little bit more forward, and soften through here. Excellent, lower your chest down. Exhale, release back, downward facing dog. Look up towards your hands. Inhale, step your left foot forward. And then your right foot. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, come all the way up. Bring your palms together. Exhale, your hands down. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Now exhale, plant your hands down, step back to high plank. Good. In your plank, you're going to walk your feet together to touch. Roll to the outside of your left foot for side plank. So that left hand is directly underneath your shoulders. The feet are flexed up towards you. You can bring the top arm to the hip, or you can reach it up towards the sky. Breathe deeply. Use that breath to lift your hips up towards the sky. Good. If you'd like an added challenge today, you can scissor the top leg off the bottom leg. So just lifting it straight up. Good. With control, come back to center into plank pose. Keep the feet together. Roll to the outside of your other foot. Good. Toes reaching up towards you. Hips are lifting. Breathe deeply. Notice if you hold your breath here, you can reach the top arm up, or you can keep it on the hip. And then for an added challenge, if you like, you can lift the top leg off the bottom leg. Good. Keep that foot nice and flexed. The entire leg's engaged. Good stuff. Lower the leg. Come back to center into plank pose. Take an inhale here. And then exhale to lower. Now as you lower, see if you can hover over top your mat. And inhale forward to upward facing dog. So in upward facing dog, tops the feet are flat, legs are engaged, so the knees are off, the hips are off, chest is lifted, and shoulders, collarbones are open. Good. So this is a great shoulder opener. See if you can pull those shoulders back even more. Excellent. Lift the hips and exhale back to downward facing dog. Good. Look up towards the hands. Inhale, step your right foot forward. And then step your left foot forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, come all the way up, palms together. And exhale your hands down. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. So the body's getting warmer, the muscles are starting to lengthen. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back to plank. Good. Pause for a breath in. Exhale to lower, body's in a nice straight line. Use your core. Inhale, come forward, upward facing dog. Shoulders rolling down into the back. Good. Flatten the tops of your feet, Jim. Perfect. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Good. Look up towards your hands. Inhale, step your left foot forward. And then step the right foot forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, come all the way up. Bring your palms together. And exhale your hands down. Something a little bit different this time. As you inhale, take the bum back, reach both arms up for chair pose, Utkatasana. Good. As you exhale, fold forward and straighten the legs. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, plant your hands down, step just your right leg back. Lower that knee to the mat. And then inhale, rise up to a low lunge, so reaching those arms up. Good. Exhale, lower the hands back down and take your front foot back for plank pose. Inhale here in your plank. Exhale to lower down, hovering. Inhale forward, upward facing dog. Lift the heart. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Good stuff. Look up towards your hands. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Inhale, come halfway up, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, come all the way up. Palms together. Exhale your hands down. Good. Inhale, sit your bum back. Reach those arms up. Chair pose. All the weight's in the heels. Good. Exhale, fold forward and straighten the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Now step just your left leg back. Lower that knee down to the mat. Inhale and reach the arms up. Good. Hips are reaching forward, chest is lifted. Exhale, lower the hands down. Take that front foot back to plank pose. Inhale here and exhale to lower. Inhale forward, upward facing dog. Good. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Good stuff. Look up towards your hands. Inhale, step your left foot forward. And now when you bring your right foot forward, bring your big toes together. Heels are about 1 inch apart. Sit back into your hips. Coming back to chair pose, reach your arms up overhead. Shoulders are into the back. Chest is lifted. Deep breaths. Legs are hugging in towards each other. Good. Knees are bent right over the toes. And now bring your hands down into prayer position. Take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee for a prayer twist. So this action is coming from the spine. Try to keep those knees as close as you can to being parallel with each other. So the opposite knee might want to come forward. Good. Take this elbow all the way to this side. Lift the back elbow up. See if you can look in that direction. Good. Come back to center. Other side, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Press the palms together, lift the elbow up. The action's coming from the torso. So use those muscles to draw yourself around. Good. Come back to center. Inhale, reach the arms up, extend the legs, and then exhale and fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back to plank. Pause for an inhale. Exhale and lower down. Good. Inhale, come forward, upward facing dog or cobra pose if that's more appropriate for you. Good. Exhale, back downward facing dog. From here, let's come to child's pose. So both knees come down wide. Your big toes come together to touch each other. Sit your hips all the way back onto the heels. Lengthen the spine and lower your forehead. Forehead to the mat, or if you need a little bit more height, you can always place a block under your forehead or use fists and then place your forehead onto the fists. Good. So deep breaths here, breathing into the back body. The back lungs are exposed here, so really fill them up. So we completed our sun salutations. Our body is warm. The muscles are warm, so now we can start to lengthen them a little bit more. Between sequences, you can flow through a vinyasa, part of a sun salutation, if you want to keep your body warm. If you want to stay in downward facing dog, stretch the backs of the legs and lengthen the spine, that's fine. If you want to rest in child's pose, that's an option as well. So take 2 more breaths here. Bring your hands back out in front of you, shoulder distance, spread your fingers, make your way back to downward facing dog. From here, inhale, come forward to your high plank, and exhale, lower all the way down onto your tummy. Good. Release your arms by your side, flatten the tops of your feet. Now you're going to find your hands behind you, you're going to interlace them, so rest them just onto the sacrum to begin. Okay, we're going to take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, reach the arms back behind you. Lift your chest off your mat and also lift your legs off the mat behind you. Locust pose. So we're opening up the entire front body. The shoulders are tight. This is going to help them open up. And we're strengthening the entire back body. So you're lifting up off your mat and those feet are reaching back behind you. Good. Breathe deeply here. Don't hold your breath. Good. Take 1 more inhale, lift up even higher if you can. And now exhale, release down. Let your body relax, so arms by your side. And turn your head to one side. Just rest your cheek onto your mat to release the neck. Good. We're going to do that one again, so bring your hands behind you, interlace them. If you can, see if you can interlace them the other way. Usually we always go to one way, see if you can find the other way. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift the chest, reach your legs. Look at your shoulder. Yeah, just keep them by the side, that's fine. So really feel the front of the shoulders coming back, opening up. Good, take another inhale, see if you can lift a little bit higher. Excellent, lower down. Now turn your head in the other direction and relax the arms by your side. Let the entire back body just melt into the front body. Good. Now bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Bring your knees together. You're going to press yourself up into child's pose, but child's pose with the knees together. Good. Sit your bum all the way back. Rest your forehead down to the mat or to a block. And now bring your hands by your side. So right near your feet. Really letting the spine round, resting the entire back. Good. Now in your child's pose here, you're going to reach onto your heels, kind of anchoring those hands, and then you're going to start to lift your hips up off the heels with the forehead rolling onto the mat. So opening up the upper back. Yeah, good stuff. So see if you can hold right onto those heels and kind of anchor and then pull away. Do you feel that through here? Good stuff. Good, deep breaths. Good. Angelo, can you keep your feet down onto the mat? Yeah. Good stuff. Lower the hips down. Bring your hands out in front of you. Come back to downward facing dog. Good. Look up towards your hands. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Then step your left foot forward. Inhale, lift up halfway to a flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, come all the way up, palms together. And exhale your hands down. Good. We're going to do some balancing. So come to that nice evenness in the feet. Now feel really lifted in the legs and start to engage your core. You're going to bend your right leg and reach back for the top of the foot. So when you reach for the foot, if you can reach for the pinky toe side, but even better if you can reach for the big toe side, because that's going to open up the shoulder. Then extend your left arm out in front. This is going to help you balance, and take your gaze towards those fingers. Good. Lift up really tall. Tuck the tailbone under. If you feel stable here, you can go deeper into the pose by pressing into that back hand. The knee is going to come up. Keep it in line with the hip. The shoulders can come slightly forward, but you want to keep the chest lifted. Good. Nice deep breaths. It's a great way to open up the hip flexor, the quadricep. Good. Keep breathing deeply. That's going to help you to balance. Good. Now see if you can release that back foot. Don't let it touch. Bring that knee up nice and high in front of you. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh and let the knee open up. Bring your hands to prayer position. This is going to help you to balance. So let the thumbs touch your heart center and sink all the way back into the hip, just like we do in chair pose, with the chest lifted. It's going to give you a wonderful opening in the outer hip. The more you flex that top foot, the more of a stretch you're going to feel. Good. So if you fall out of the pose, that's okay. Just take your time. Come back. Use your breath. Good. Rise all the way up. Lift that right knee nice and high and lower the leg down. Good. Let's try the other side. Bend the left leg. Reach for the back of the foot. Big toe side if you can to open the shoulder even more. Reach the right arm forward. So when you reach that arm forward, feel the lift right from the core all the way up into the hand. And then once you feel stable here, you can go a little bit deeper by pressing the foot into the hand, leaning slightly forward, but always staying lifted through the heart. Good. Breathe deeply. Find that gazing point that's going to help you with your mental focus and with your balance. Good. Release that foot. Try not to let the leg touch, and lift the knee high. Flex the foot, spread the toes, cross it over your right thigh. Bring your hands together. Now let your thumbs touch your chest. That's going to help you to balance. Sit your hips back. Keep your chest lifted. Breathe into that outer hip. Keep that top foot nice and flexed. Good stuff. Good. Rise up. Lift the left knee high. Lower it down. Come back to Tadasana mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, plant your hands down. Step back to plank. Pause for an inhale. Exhale and lower down. Inhale, come forward to cobra or upward facing dog. Good. Exhale, release back, downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward. Lower your left knee down into your mat. So with this front knee, make sure the knee's not going past the toes. Past the ankles, okay, but not past the toes. And then reach your arms up overhead. Shoulders are into the back, chest is lifted. So chest is lifted, you want to keep these hips drawing forward. That's what's going to bring the stretch into the left hip flexor. Good, deep breaths here. Check in with the body. See if you can go a little bit deeper by drawing the hips further forward. But keep them very active, so feel like you're trying to bring the front foot and the back knee together to bring strength into the pelvis. Good. Now lower your hands down, bring them both to the inside of the front foot and take that front foot a little bit wider, about to the outer hip. Toes are going to continue to face forward. Hug that knee in towards your shoulder. Now this is a bit of a deeper stretch, so if you need to use your blocks, hands can come up onto the blocks. We want to try to keep the spine long and the chest reaching forward. I don't know if you need these for these, but I'm going to bring them for you. Good. Good. If you feel like you want more opening for the hips, if you can keep the back nice and flat, you can lower down to your forearms on the inside. You can also bring your blocks underneath the forearms and lower down onto the blocks. Or you can stay up where you are if that's enough stretch for you. Good. If you're lowering yourself down, keep that front knee hugging in towards the shoulder. Good. Deep breaths. Keep that awareness. Good. And remember, everything's an option, so you do what's right for your body today. Okay, if you're feeling extra tight, you might just enjoy the stretch here. Another variation that you can take if you like is to bring the inside arm, so the right arm, and wrap it underneath the front leg to bring it to the foot. And then the left hand can also come onto the foot, so you're sort of balancing with the hands on the feet. Good. Another variation, so you can take it further, is to curl the back toes under and to lift the back knee off. That's going to bring more opening into the hip. So if that ends up being too much for you, then just lower the back knee down. Good. So keep that front foot pressing down though. Good. You got to really draw in. Good stuff. Good. Take 2 more breaths. Good. If you came into the variation where the hands are wrapped, then slowly release them. You're going to bring that front foot back in front of the hip. Bring your right hand to the outside of the leg. So transition very slowly. Curl the back toes under and release back to downward facing dog. Good. Good. Take a nice big breath as you do that. Now you can stay in your downward facing dog, or you can take a vinyasa flow. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhale to lower, whatever works best for you. Inhale forward, upward facing dog or cobra. Just move with your breath. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Good. So let's do the other side. We're going to step the left foot forward. Lower your right knee down onto your mat. Good. Reach those arms up overhead. Chest lifts, shoulders are into the back, hips are reaching forward. Good. Nice deep breaths. So feel like the knee and the foot are trying to come together. The core is lifted. See if you can bring your hips forward a little bit more. Yeah, maybe bring that front foot a little bit further forward. Good stuff. Same, actually. Good. Excellent. And then lower those hands down to the inside of the front foot and take that foot a little bit wider, about to the outer hip. Continue to point the toes forward and the knee to hug in. And we start to sink a little bit deeper, opening up that right hip flexor. So just check in for a moment and notice how this side may feel different than the other side felt. Just be aware of that. So you don't want to repeat the same poses on each side exactly the same way without that awareness. Okay, because one side of the body might end up being very different from the other. So we might need to use our props or to modify. Good. And now if you feel like you're getting enough opening that you can stay with the flat back and come to the forearms, you can explore that, or even bring the forearms onto the blocks. Good. And if you find the back really rounds, then just come back up onto the hands and stay there. Good. You can stay exactly where you are. You can take the variation with the left hand wrapping underneath the leg onto the foot. The right hand coming onto the foot as well. Keep that front knee really hugging in, squeezing in towards the shoulder. And then another option is to curl the back toes under and lift the back knee off. Hug in, squeeze, nice and strong. Deep breaths. Good. Watch where the mind goes when you have to hold a challenging pose. Try to keep it present on the body and the breath. Good stuff. Slowly lower the back knee down. Unwrap the arms. Bring that foot in front of the hip. Take your time. Have one hand on either side and make your way back to downward facing dog. Good. And here you can take a vinyasa flow or you can stay in your downward facing dog, and child's pose is an option as well. Good. Excellent. From downward facing dog, let's step the right foot forward and lower your back knee down onto your mat. You're going to straighten the front leg, sit back into the hips. So I'm going to give you the blocks just to show. So blocks can be used and are beneficial in this stretch. And you're going to bring them on either side of the knee. Sorry, Lucy. Now you want to keep both hips nice and even. So watch that the front hip doesn't try to come forward. Keep drawing it back. And you're going to feel as though the body's folding over the legs. So we're actually going to start with toes pointing forward and take a couple breaths like this. You want to try to flatten that foot out, but if it doesn't come all the way down, just keep the toes moving in that direction. Keep the chest lengthening forward, so tilting from the pelvis. So it's important when we stretch the hamstrings that we stretch them properly. So if we're rounding through the waist or we're rounding through the shoulders, we're taking the stretch out of the hamstrings. Hamstrings connect right into the sit bone, so imagine that you're lengthening right from that insertion point. Good. Now flex the toes back towards you. Press the heel out away from you and see if you can sit back a little bit deeper. Good. Spine stays nice and long. Good. Some of you may not need the blocks here, so you can kind of play around in it, but they're very useful in this stretch. Good. See if you can get those toes coming back even more. Excellent. Good. And now bend your front knee. You're going to come forward a little bit. This next pose is a little bit tricky, so I'm going to talk you through it. You're going to take your front foot across your body, so to the left side. So it's sort of in front of your left shoulder, crossing your body. Good. Now you're going to keep that hip drawing back. So the hip's going to want to come forward with the leg. Keep it drawing back away. And flex that foot. So press down the pinky toe side of the foot. Peel the big toe side off. So this whole side's going to be flat. Yep. And then you flex up. Good. And now you're going to take both hands either directly onto the mat or onto the block on the outside of the leg. Yes. Good. Excellent. Nice deep breath. So this is getting into the IT band, the outer leg. Try to relax the shoulders. Yeah. So many runners will find this stretch intense, but it's a good one. Now, if the front knee is a little bit bent, see if you can gradually start to straighten it. Bring that block over here as well. Good. And then lengthen. And see if you can straighten gradually. No? Okay. If you want to go deeper into this stretch, back toes can curl under and you can lift the back knee off the mat. Yes, thank you, Valerie. And then back leg is straight. Good one. Good. If the back knee's off, slowly lower it down. You're going to bring your blocks back on either side of your leg. And now slowly bring that foot back in front of your right hip. Good. Bend the front knee. Bring your hands down to your mat and take your time coming back to downward facing dog. Nice work. Good. So here you can take a vinyasa flow, or you can stay in your downward facing dog and breathe. Good. Excellent. Now take a couple breaths in your downward facing dog and just notice if one side of the body feels a little bit different. Now let's step the left foot forward. Lower your right knee down into your mat. Begin to straighten the front leg. If you need to, use your blocks on either side of the front knee. Sit the bum back. Reach your chest forward, nice long spine. Start with toes pointing forward. Chest reaching forward and shoulders relaxed. If the hamstrings are tight, there might be a tendency here to bring that tension into the shoulders and for the shoulders to lift up. But keep them drawing back and use your breath to really get into those muscles and release. Left side might be a little bit tighter than the right side. You like that with the toes forward? Good. Keep them reaching all the way down. And then flex the foot back. Press the heel out away from you. Nice deep breaths. Maybe reaching the sit bones back a little bit further, chest reaching forward. Good. How's it feel? Good stretch? See if you can bring the toes back a little bit more. Bring your hands a little bit further forward. Yeah. And then feel like you're reaching the chest forward. Good. Excellent. And now take that left foot across, or the foot comes across, the entire leg begins to cross the body. Good. Blocks or hands coming to the outside of the leg. And now press the pinky toe side of the foot down, peel the big toe side of the foot back, and reach that hip back as well. Good. Trying to straighten that front leg. Keep reaching back. You feel the stretch, Lucy?
Worse on the other side.
More, yeah.
Better.
Yeah, good.
I don't know if it's the same.
Well, try keeping the hips lifted, like not sitting back so much. So
Okay.
come forward, and think more of anchoring here and drawing this back.
Okay.
So if you want to come into the other variation of the back knee lifting, feel free to do so. So bring this block right here. Yeah, and then keep your chest kind of reaching this way. Good stuff. Feel that stretch? Good. Good. Deep, deep breaths. If the back knee's up, slowly lower it down. Bring that front foot in front of the hip. Hands come down to the mat. Take your time, release back to downward facing dog. Just nice and slow. Good. If you want to take a vinyasa flow, feel free to do so. Okay, you're going to step your left foot forward and you're going to turn to face sideways on your mat. So in a wide-legged stance, you're going to bring your blocks with you and bring them out in front at about shoulder distance. Some of you might not need the blocks, but the blocks have different levels, so as you come into the stretch, you can always put them down to a lower level. Good, so everybody's into the stretch already, perfect. So you can start down, everybody's down. You can also come from up and slowly lower down. Make sure you're moving slowly for the groin and the hamstrings, and then hands lower down to the blocks. Now holding here and breathing, press down into the outer edges of the feet and lift through the arches, engage all the way into the inner thighs. Good. Spine is long, chest is reaching forward, and the movement is coming from a forward tilt in the pelvis. Okay, that's what brings the stretch in. And then as you hold and breathe, if you notice that the body starts to release, you can possibly lower the blocks down to a lower level, or maybe bring your hands right down onto the mat as well. Good. Try to straighten the legs. Good. Take 2 more deep breaths. Eric, stay up higher. Bring the blocks up to the previous level, all the way up. Yeah, and now try to reach your chest forward. That's better, yeah. Can you feel that difference? Good, okay. Good. Now bring your left hand directly underneath your face. That can be on a block or directly onto your mat. And bring your right hand onto your low back to rest on your sacrum. Good. Now you want to feel that hand nice and flat onto the low back, and you're going to start to open up and turn your shoulders or turn your chest towards the right. Good. In a twisting position. Excellent. So keeping that spine nice and long. Deep breaths. Good. Come back to center. Right hand replaces the left hand. Left hand comes to the sacrum, the low back. Get long first. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come into the twist. Good. Keep pressing down into those feet. See if you can straighten this leg a little bit more. Good. And then lower those hands back down. Stay supported here by the blocks or the mat, and you're going to bend the right leg and go over to the right side for a little side lunge. So when you bend that leg, make sure the knee tracks right over the toes, getting a little bit more of a deeper opening in the groin, and then slowly transfer over to the left side. Keep pressing down into those feet. Good. So we're just going to move from one side to the other, over to the right side. Good. Over to the left side. Over to the right, and over to the left. Excellent. And now walk your hands around. You're going to pivot to face forward onto your mat. Come into a lunge. Both hands come down, and release back to downward facing dog. Good stuff. On your next inhale, reach your left leg back behind you, and then sweep that knee through, lower it down to your mat, to the outside of the left hip, close to the left wrist for pigeon pose. Good. Good. You're going to lower the back knee down, take a look over your right shoulder, make sure the knee and the foot are lined up directly behind your shoulder, and also make sure that your toes are pointing straight back rather than sickling in. Good. Then you're going to come back to square, lengthen your spine. From here, feel free to stay up on your hands. You can walk them out a little bit and come to your forearms, perhaps, or all the way down. Keep that front foot really active, flexing back towards the knee. And we want to stay nice and even in the hips. Good. So we don't want to lean to one side or the other. Excellent. So deep breaths here. It's a really deep stretch for the hips, piriformis muscle in the front hip. Great for all athletes, but especially hockey players, right, Eric? And then watch this back foot. Yeah. Good. Stay here for 2 more deep breaths, and then we're going to come into a variation. So slowly walk those hands back towards you. You're going to bring your right forearm across the top of your mat. And then you're going to reach back for the left, with the left hand for the back foot. And see if you're able to bring it in towards you. Stretch the quadricep as well. If you wanted to, you could also use a strap to wrap around the back foot, but everybody looks good where they are. Try to keep the hips really even. And then you can control how much stretch you want here. So if you start to feel like the quadriceps responding to the stretch, Breathe deeply and maybe bring that foot in a little bit closer. Good. Slowly release that back leg down. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers, curl the back toes, and slowly release back to downward facing dog. Good. Once you're here, if you want to, you can rock a little bit from side to side in the hips. And then we'll go into pigeon on the right side. So right leg reaches back. Sweep it all the way through. Good. Make sure the knee is just slightly beyond the hip when you lower down. And then extend that leg back. Take a look over your shoulder. Knee and foot are lined up directly behind you. Toes reaching straight back. Good. Hands come back to center, lengthen the spine, and then you can choose to walk forward, or you can stay on the forearms and lower down. So Jim, take these toes straight back. Good. Good. Nice deep breaths. Sometimes when we're holding a stretch for a long period of time, getting really deep into the tissues, we allow our minds to start to wander. We're no longer focused on our breathing. We're no longer focused on our body. So see if you can stay with it, observing the sensations in the body. If there's discomfort, meaning if you're getting deep into some tension, breathe through it. This foot's a little bit better than the other side. Good. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then slowly walk those hands back towards you. This time your left forearm comes across your mat. Reach your right arm back. Bend the back leg, see if you can reach for the foot. And if you cannot reach for the foot, another option is to use the strap or to just bring that heel in towards your bum, because that will also increase the stretch in the quadricep. Good. So stay really lifted in that shoulder, really long through the spine. Deep breaths. Good. One more deep inhale. And exhale, slowly release that back leg. Plant your hands down, curl your back toes. Take as much time as you need to release back to downward facing dog. Good. And if it feels good, a little rock from side to side in the hips. Excellent. So lower down onto your knees. We're going to be utilizing our straps, so take hold of your strap. And you're going to curl all 10 of your toes underneath of you, so trying to flatten them all down onto the mat. And then sit back onto your heels with the heels straight up. Good. So we're doing a nice stretch for the soles of the feet into the fascia. You're going to hold your strap in your right hand. So you can unravel it first. And if you don't have a strap, if you're doing this stretch at home, you can use a long towel, or you can simply just reach for your shirt as well. That works. So right arm reaches up, elbows pointing up. You're going to drop the strap down behind you. Left arm comes out to the side. Turn your palm to face back, and then reach back for the strap with that hand. So right elbow's pointing up, left elbow's pointing down. Eventually, you want to reach the fingers together and interlace them, but if you're not there today, that's okay. Try to keep the neck and head relaxed. Sometimes we use the head to kind of manipulate the arms. Everybody's good? Excellent. Good. Deep breaths. And now watch the mid-back. If you're creating more curve in the spine, press the mid-ribs into that bottom forearm, and that helps to engage the core muscles. Good. Take 2 more breaths. Try to stay with the stretch in the feet. If it's intense, breathe deeply. When we stretch the soles of the feet, we're stretching the fascia in the feet, letting go of tension in other parts of the body too. Good. So release the arms on this side slowly. Roll the shoulders back. Roll the shoulders forward. See if you can stay with the stretch in the feet. If it's too much, you can flatten the tops of your feet and sit back. And we're going to move onto the left side. So strap in the left hand. Take that elbow up. Drop the strap behind you. Right arm comes out to the side. Palm faces back. And then reach that hand back behind you. Likely, one side of the body is going to feel tighter, or one shoulder is going to feel tighter than the other. Good. Good stuff. Try to keep that neck relaxed, head neutral. Can you get back up on those toes? Can you get back up onto your toes, or is it too much? Is this okay for your shoulder? Okay. Good. Deep breaths. Good. Slowly release the arms. Roll your shoulders back and roll your shoulders forward. Now come forward onto your hands. Come back to table pose. And you can kind of just tap the tops of your feet onto your mat, especially those of you who stayed in that toe stretch the entire time. Good. And now you're going to come onto your back. So sweep both legs out in front of you and start to make your way onto your back. Good. Once you arrive down, you're going to bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet onto your mat at about sit bone distance apart, toes pointing forward. And now when you reach your arms by your side, you should be able to just tickle your heels with the fingertips. Good. So palms pressing down to the side, into the mat beside you. We're going to come into bridge pose, but we want to try to utilize the back muscles and keep the glutes relaxed. So imagine that the knees are rolling over the toes, or like someone has straps on your knees and they're drawing them forward as the hips lift up. Then you're less likely to grip the glutes. So when you're ready, start to lift the hips up towards the sky. Chest will come in slightly towards the chin, but keep the neck, the cervical spine nice and long. Press evenly into both sides of the feet, so the instep of the feet as well, to keep the inner thighs active. Good. And turn your toes a little bit more to face forward. Face me. Good stuff. Good. And keep looking straight up. Good. See if you can lift the hips a little bit higher. Maybe interlacing the hands underneath of you, but don't force that in the shoulders if it doesn't feel natural or somewhat easy to reach for them. Then just keep the arms by the side. Good. Now if the hands are interlaced, undo them. Lower your hips down. Take a little pause. Excellent. So we're going to do bridge one more time, but only as a means to get into wheel and just to see where you're at. So, you know, when you're competing in sports, you push yourself no matter what. When we're doing yoga, we're going to be a little bit more mindful. So I'm going to tell you how to get into the pose, and you're going to see where you're at in terms of how open you are in your shoulders. Okay, so come into bridge one more time, lifting the hips up. And now from here, bring your hands back by your ears. Fingertips are going to point back towards you. Press down into your feet, press down into your hands, and see if you're able to lift yourself off your mat. You know, if it's not happening, then just come back down. When you lower down, do so slowly and bring the chin in. Good. Excellent. Lower the hips down. Okay, take your feet wider than your hips and let your knees come together and rest against each other. Arms by your side, palms up towards the sky. Take a couple breaths like this. So wheel, the pose we just did, is a really big back bend. Before we counter, we want to just come to a neutral place. So letting the low back adjust. Good. Now bring the knees in towards your chest and hug them in with your arms. You can rock softly here from side to side. Give your back a little massage. Or if you want, you can also take the knees into a little circle. Good. Now come back to center. You're going to take your right leg, you're going to cross it over your left leg at the inner thighs. Good. And then you're going to reach down for your feet on either side, and you're going to start to draw your feet towards your shoulders. So you're going to start to draw them like this to the side. Good. So then the knees are coming in towards you, but press the sit bones forward. Press the tailbone forward at the same time. Can you feel that in the piriformis? Yeah. Good. Nice deep breath. So Angela, see if you can tuck this knee into that one a little bit more. Yeah, that's okay. Good stuff. And now the knees are coming in, and press your bum forward as well. Like you're trying to flatten your tailbone. Yeah. You can feel that one, I know. Deep breaths. So keep bringing these knees in. Press your hips forward. Feel that? No? Okay, so let go of your feet. You can just release your arms. I'm going to use my legs, pressing in, and then try to flatten your tailbone down to the mat in front of you. You feel that? Yeah. Yeah. Good. Slowly release down. We're going to switch legs. So left leg crosses over. All the way. Good. So you're squeezing at the inner thighs. Reach for your feet or your ankles. Bring them towards your armpits, towards your shoulders. Good. And then keep the hips reaching forward. Can you feel the stretch? Good. So try to keep your shoulders relaxed. Good. Everything's reaching it, and then press your bum forward at the same time. Can you feel that in the top hip? Perfect. So breathe deeply. Undo the legs, release them, uncross them. Keep the knees over the hips. Bring your arms out into T position by your side, or bent elbows for cactus, like so, with the shoulders pressing down. And then draw both knees over to your right side, letting them come to rest down onto the floor beside you. And then turn and look over your opposite shoulder. Feeling the twist all the way up into the spine. So when you're in this sort of twist, you want to be able to relax the body. So the legs are resting down. Good, nice deep breaths. Slowly bring the legs back to center and over to the left side. Turning the head to look over the right shoulder. Is that okay? Is that okay? Slowly bring them back. Hug them in nice and tight towards your chest. Bring the forehead in towards the knees. Squeeze the body in. And then release yourself down. Extend your legs out in front of you for our final pose, Shavasana pose. So feet are wider than the hips. Relax the toes to the side. Release from the hips down. Arms by your side, palms turned up towards the sky. Take a nice big inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhale, exhale. With that final bit of exhale, allow your body to feel heavy. Like it's sinking into the ground, and like the earth is coming up around you, embracing you. relax around the shoulders, releasing the neck and the lower jaw. So allowing the tongue to fall from the roof of your mouth, the teeth to part. Soften all the muscles of the face, space between your eyebrows. This is a time for your body to be still, to absorb the full effects of all that we've done through our yoga practice, through our breath, our asanas, to allow healing to take place. Now slowly allow your breath to get deeper in your body. Very softly start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. When your body feels ready, reach your arms up overhead, just for a very gentle full body stretch. And then bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet back to the earth. Turn and roll over to your right side and stay on your right side for a few more breaths. Press into your hands and rise up to a comfortable seated position. Once you arrive here, invite your hands together at your heart center, close your eyes, bow your head forward. Just taking a moment once again to check in with your body, to notice any changes. To be grateful that you were healthy enough to do this practice today on your mat. And to acknowledge that it was exactly what your body needed, and you are exactly where you need to be in this moment. Raise your hands to your forehead. Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you had a great practice.